I think that racism is not necessarily ignorance. I think a lot of people say it's born out of ignorance, and I think it can be. But I think you can be racist without being ignorant. I think you can be ignorant without being racist. Ignorant without being racist. Let me illustrate a story that happened, true story. I was down in Alabama doing a show, and after the show, it went well. This girl comes up to me, this white girl comes up to me, and she's drunk. And she says, and it doesn't end the way you think it's going to, but anyway, she comes up to me, and she just says to me, she looks right at me, and she goes, "You were like really funny up there. You were really good, but the only thing I wanted to ask you was, you weren't one of the ones that flew the plane into the building now, were you?" I didn't know how to talk to her. I was like, I can't explain. They're suicide, they're dead. There's no, I can't. They're on the news, they're at one time. I'm doing stand-up in Alabama. Would make no sense. But she wasn't racist. She liked my show. She was nice. She was just ignorant. It was the definition of ignorant. She just didn't know. That's all it was. It was the same thing in Cincinnati. I did a show, I did an open mic, it was a contest, I came in second, I should have won it. And after the show, these two black guys are leaving. And one guy says to his friend, he goes, "Man, that A-Rap should have won." And he walked out. I was like, dude, really? I mean, that's crazy. But some of these things are teachable moments, right? They're teachable moments. And that's what I said, the girl in Alabama, that's what I said to her. I said, "No, I'm not terrorist, I'm Hindu. Terrorists are Muslim." Corporate culture is good. Let me just say that. I think that's definitely a good thing. I think it is possible to be educated and be racist. I think that does happen. I actually think that rich people are more racist than poor people. My theory on that is that poor people have to kind of mix together, live together, whether they're in the ghetto or the slums or whatever. You see a lot of people who are not like you. If you're rich, you can live in a rich area, drive down a rich highway, work at a rich company, and go home, and never see anyone that's not like you. So I actually think that poor people are a lot less racist than rich people. And I think educated people aren't always not racist. I mean, you could know a lot about my culture. You could be like, yeah, 7-Eleven, Slurpee, Bollywood, whatever it is. Invasion, 1947, partition, Gandhi. I get it, I just don't like you. So I think it's very possible that's because I get that all the time too. People are like, oh, Indians, you guys are just a bunch of gas station owners and 7-Eleven workers and doctors and computer scientists and lawyers. I mean, you mean a society? Is that what you mean? You just described every possible job there is. You broke down the stereotype yourself. Interestingly enough, things that are not racist. Again, I think that, breaking down the stereotype of what is and what's not, I think we take PC way too far. I think that, certain words are just not used anymore. Like Oriental. Oriental is not a bad word. Things are Oriental. People are Asian. You're not racist if you use the word Oriental. You eat Oriental food. You have Asian friends. You cannot eat Asian food unless you're a cannibal. It works that way. Although it looks like humans, so maybe it's possible. I think it does kind of look like human, right? And I know a lot of my friends in LA are Asian, and it's always funny because they have the oldest names. I first came over, and they must have looked at books that were so old, because my friends are Belinda, Howard, Alice. I was telling my white friends I'm hanging out with, like Belinda, they're like, "What, are you playing bingo at the old people's home? Like, what's going on? Like, where's Edith and Gunther and Gertrude? Like, where are they coming from?" But I think another thing is that we sometimes are just way too touchy. We're too sensitive. I think minorities included. We're too touchy about this stuff. Like, if something happens and someone kind of looks like you and someone like I said at the beginning, like, Raj, what are they saying? What are they saying? Some people can't tell you apart. That doesn't make you a racist. It just means you don't know. And I think that's really important to know. It's incumbent upon us. It's on us to not get so sensitive and to try to find what the intent is. Because if you're not Indian, if you're not Middle Eastern, we kind of do look sort of similar. We kind of do look the same. If you're not Asian, then Asians kind of do. It's just like, it's the way it is. It's like, if you start listening to hip-hop or heavy metal or country or whatever you're thinking, the first time you listen to it, all sounds the same. After you start to listen to it for a while, you're able to pick up the subtleties. So, if you think about it, if you were friends, and all your friends were circles, and you met an octagon, and you're like, "Hey, are you a hexagon?" He should be like, "Man, I got 8 sides." Like, no, like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's a totally innocent mistake, man. Just look the eye off the line. about things. You know, we come up with all these like cover-ups. Like a lot of my friends in LA are also Persian. I hear a lot of, oh, we're Persian. You're Iranian, okay? What is this Persian stuff? Really, I mean, Iraqis are not Mesopotamians. It's over. Like, Mexicans aren't Mayans. It's over. It's a long time ago, man. A long time ago. And some things are just funny, okay? If you sit on a whoopee cushion and someone puts one ass up in a chair, which would be really an old joke to do, but if it makes that farting sound is just funny. It just is a funny sound. The Indian accent is just funny, okay? It's just a funny sound. It just is. And when people mess up different letters, it just is funny. I mean, it's just like, we're not the only ones with that, you know, funny accents and funny words. I mean, depending on where you're from in the world, people transpose different letters all the time. For Filipinos, it's the F's and the P's. Fuck you, fuck you. Asians is the R's and the L's, we know that one, right? Latinos, it's the Y's and the J's. We have Latino friends in LA, because it's basically Mexico. And so I was telling my friend RJ to look me up online, and I said, look me up on Facebook, and he goes, it's the Y's and the J's, right? He goes, what you on YouTube? Like, what's YouTube? Besides regular television. German company, okay. Thanks, yeah, one applause, that's okay. So, and for the Indians, it's the B's and the W's, okay? And this goes back to the Devanagari script. It's the same letter, and this is why a lot of people from the previous generation cannot pronounce a B and a W differently. So, if I went to a Subway restaurant, which those are all run by Indians too, that is absolutely fact. Just like Dunkin' Donuts, it's all run by Indians. I don't know why that is. But in fact, so many Indians run Subway, so they're going to rename them taxis. It's really good. We're proud. So I tell the guy behind the counter I want something healthy because I have to lose weight. And, okay, then get that. Okay. So I told him something healthy, and, you know, some B's and W's. So he goes, sir, how about a wedgie? I didn't ask me if I wanted a 6 or a 12 inch. I don't know. And we take it too far, okay? BC on the other side. Why does it go too far? Stuff like this, okay? The drop-down menu. I'm in the Bay Area. I feel like I should do a technological joke. This stuff is good. United States at the top. I like that, okay?